How's it going, everybody? This is Todd Driver. I hope you're having another great day, and welcome back to another video. Alright, so we are now well past the halfway point of Ramadan. Obviously, for those that don't know, me being a Muslim, it's that time of year in which we go a full month, where it's 29 or 30 days in a year, in which we go from the beginning of the day, from the morning, all the way to the very end, usually past 7 o'clock, without eating anything throughout the entire course of that day. And usually we would go till somewhere around late in the evening before we finally have our dinner or something like that. And that's something that we usually do every single year. And I've already shared with you a little bit about how I usually go about with Ramadan, but usually there are also some things in regards to how you stay healthy during Ramadan. Like, for example, if you have like an active lifestyle like I do, well, I'm going to talk a little bit about that to you. For this video, I'm going to share with you a few ways that you can stay healthy during Ramadan. Now, this is for those that are converting into Islam or are trying Ramadan for the very first time, or for those that are old enough now to really do the extensive hours of Ramadan, usually going from either 5 or 4 a.m. in the morning to all the way to the very end, usually around like 7 or 7:30 p.m. at night. So these are a few ways where if you have an active lifestyle, you can learn to stay healthy during this time of year. Now, trust me, it is not easy to go through an entire month without eating from one certain time of the day to the very end, without having some sort of health issue or anything like that. But with these tips, you can be able to get through an entire month of Ramadan without having any sort of issue, and also to remain active and healthy throughout this entire time. Now, the first step to do this is to get a good amount of sleep. Now, obviously, the recommended amount of sleep for everybody nowadays is usually in between 8 to 10 hours, and that sleep is very, very important because that's what sets everything up for the very next day. Now, usually if you were somebody that would sleep somewhere around like, I don't know, 11 p.m., maybe try to shift it up like a half hour or an hour earlier than that. Maybe go to sleep at around 10 p.m. Maybe get like an extra hour or something like that, so that way you give enough time to be able to digest all your food, because there's going to be a point in that time during your sleep in which you are ultimately going to have to get up and eat. And I will talk a little bit about that a little bit later on. But you gotta make sure that you get that recommended sleep, because if you're continuously getting up in the middle of the night, you have to use the bathroom or something like that, or because you're struggling to sleep overall, it's gonna make you very tired and also really, really groggy as well. And as a result, it may make you overeat at night, and not only that, it may also force you to really go through an entire day looking really, really dehydrated and also very, very tired as well. And as a result, it's gonna make it a lot harder for you to be able to get through your entire fast without eating anything until that certain time period comes. Trust me, sleep is very, very important nowadays. It's how we go about with our lives, and without that sleep, we lack those minerals and nutrients needed for us to be able to go through our day every single day. And really, it's something that we cannot live without. So you need to make sure that you get that recommended amount of sleep. The next tip is that you need to have a really big breakfast. Now, this is where the next part of that sleep comes in. Usually in Ramadan, during the middle of our sleep, we usually wake up at least either a half hour or at least 45 minutes before our time period to start our fast begins, for us to go and actually have our big meal. And so usually before you get up for your actual daily activities, you need to have like some sort of big meal before then. So for instance, let's say that you're supposed to start your fast at 5 a.m. Well, usually I would have my time set for either 4:15 or 4:30, so that way I can get up and have a really big meal. And then after that, I would go back to sleep, give it some time for my food to be able to digest, and ultimately I'll be able to go through my day hydrated and ready to roll, so that way I can get through the day without having to worry about breaking my fast until very later in the day, in which it would be the most likely that food would really come into my mind. Also, during this time, make sure that it's a really big meal, because really you're gonna have to go through at least 12 or 13 hours without eating anything. So really have like a good breakfast. Usually most of the time it would be like cereal or milk for me. However, sometimes you have to really mix it up as well. So maybe sometimes have like some egg or cheese and something like that, or maybe like some sort of like hearty breakfast, like some sort of meat to go along with those eggs and cheese and a biscuit or something like that. You know, something big enough where you can be able to go through your day feeling full and not having to worry about having to go through an empty stomach. So obviously during the middle of your sleep, at least a half hour or 45 minutes before the projected time in which your fast is supposed to begin, get out of bed and make sure that you're having something to eat. Because if you don't, or if you wait till later on and it's too late, trust me, you're going to go through the entire day with an empty stomach, and it's going to make it a lot harder for you to be able to go through your daily fast. Number 3 is that you need to have a good amount of exercise. Now, obviously, it is very important for all of us to have an active lifestyle, to go out to at least have a few minutes, maybe at the most 30 minutes to an hour of exercise a day. But that can be extremely difficult during the times of Ramadan. And I say that because obviously, everybody knows that we usually mostly work out during the day, which is when most of the time we would have some sort of like water with us, or maybe some sort of like food or bar or something like that. So that way we can at least have something to snack on while we are working out, and just stay active and hydrated or something like that. That can be extremely difficult to be able to do during these times. So if you're going to work out during Ramadan, I would keep it really minimal. So usually like during the day, in which is in the middle of your fast, maybe stick to at least 30 minutes or 45 minutes, or maybe just 60 minutes of walking. Not fast walking, but just like slow walking, obviously. Just maybe like around a block or around town or something like that, or maybe just a slow walk on a treadmill if you happen to have one at home. Try to do something like that, so that way it's not too fast, but also not really high level of activity. So that way it doesn't wear yourself out too much, in which you end up really feeling hungry after that workout. Otherwise, your best bet is to wait till the very end of your fast, usually around either 7 or 7:30. Once you actually have your meal, to maybe go to the gym and have like at least an hour or two of exercise at the very end of the day. Now, if you have like a gym membership, obviously it's going to be very tricky for you to be able to go to the gym and be able to have your workouts, because usually they would have like a closing time or something like that. So if that's really a situation where you fall in, try to see if you can get at least 30 or 45 minutes of walking or something like that, or a treadmill, or maybe some sort of like either like cardio or workout, something like that at your actual gym. Otherwise, just stick with at least 30 to 60 minutes of walking outside at the very end of your fast. Being fit is very important to having a healthy and long life, and the same can be said during Ramadan. So at least during this time, you need to get some sort of exercise. But if you're going to do it before the end of your fast, do not make it an excessive exercise. Do at least 30 or 45 minutes of it, and you'll be fine. Finally, and this is something that's just really personal, really the fourth and best way for you to be able to keep your mind off of food and stay healthy during Ramadan is really just find something that you really enjoy doing. Some sort of like really fun activity or something like that. And most of the time, I think it's really best that you do that with your family. And there are really so many things that you can do during the day that you can really celebrate without having to worry about going to like really a snack stand, or maybe going to your fridge to be able to get some food or something like that. Like, for example, watch a movie. Obviously I'm sure there's a movie theater out there that you can go out to and watch really some of the newest films that are out there. And really, that's something that I used to do a lot when I was a kid. Actually, I used to go to the movie theater a lot with my dad, not usually just during Ramadan, but really any time of the year as well. I haven't really done a whole lot of that lately, but really go out and watch a movie with your family and friends. And also, maybe if there's like an activity that you enjoy doing at home, like for example, filmmaking like I do, or even playing video games or something like that, maybe you enjoy doing something like that. Or maybe just go to a sporting event, maybe watch an NFL, or maybe even a football game, or maybe even a basketball, soccer game or something like that. Or maybe just go out to a concert, maybe just enjoy something like that. All of that and a whole lot of other things that you can do to get together with friends and really just have some fun as well. But you gotta remember, some of them may be bringing food with them. You cannot let that really become a problem, because you really need to resist that urge to really join them in having some of that food, because remember, you're still doing Ramadan yourself. So maybe during those times, let them know that you are fasting, and really just keep the food away from you at all costs, because you don't want that food to really risk making you feel tempted to break that fast, because otherwise that could be a real problem. One of the best ways for you to be able to keep your mind off of food and really not worry about eating until later in the day is for you to go out and just be a part of a life. Obviously be with friends and family, just have some fun and do some really enjoyable things. As long as food is out of the question until the very end of that day, whatever you do is going to help you take your mind off of that and go through Ramadan and just have some fun doing it as well. So if you know some friends, try to get together with them and see what you can do during the day. That way you can be able to keep your mind off of food and just have some fun doing all the things that you love with your friends and family. Trust me, you really need to have them with you during that time of the year. And so really having those relationships close to you is going to be a great way for you to be able to get through Ramadan without any sort of issues. So as long as you have a few friends with you, hey, go out there and have some fun. Just make sure that the food is away from you. As I said before, Ramadan is that one time of the year, if you are a Muslim, where you have to go through an entire entire month without eating. It is not easy to do. And trust me, if you are not taking the necessary precautions needed to be able to get through the entire month, it's going to be extremely difficult for you to be able to get through Ramadan without breaking your fast until later in the day. So make sure that you are hydrated and you have that big meal and also have that good amount of sleep, all that in a certain time frame, and also make sure that you get that necessary exercise needed so that way you can remain healthy and be able to get through an entire month without any sort of health issues. And of course, family and friends are important. As long as you have them with you, it's going to help you take your mind off of food as well and really just maintain that healthy lifestyle needed to be able to enjoy the rest of your month without really worrying about eating until later in the day. Trust me, there are so many other ways where you can go about Ramadan and stay healthy at the same time, but these are really the main ways for you to be able to do it. As long as you take these necessary steps, you'll be able to get through the rest of your month and remain active and healthy without any sort of issues health-wise whatsoever. It's not easy to remain fit during Ramadan. Trust me, I've done this for nearly 15 years, and I can tell you it was extremely difficult during the time that I was trying to lose all that weight that I lost to be able to get to the weight that I am now, so that way I can remain fit during this time. But trust me, as long as you're doing everything right, not only will you stay healthy, but trust me, you'll be able to get through Ramadan with relative ease. I've done this for 15 years, and I can tell you right now, it is not easy, but it is manageable. So that's pretty much it. Those are just some of the ways that I've been able to stay healthy during Ramadan and keep that active lifestyle. And obviously I know that there are some people that do Ramadan that may have different ways that be able to do it themselves. So if you're one of those people, I'd like to hear from you. How do you stay healthy and fit during Ramadan? Feel free to let me know down in the comments. I'll be more interested in hearing how you're able to do it. Anyways, that's going to do it for another video. I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, if you'd like to see more of my content, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when my latest video is released. Comment below for future suggestions for all my videos, whether it's blogs, projects, or challenges, you name it, leave it in the comments below and I'll do my best to make them. As always, follow me on my social media, all the links are in the description below. That's going to do it for another midweek upload. Hope you're all having another great day. As always, hope to see you all again in another video very soon. So long, everybody.